Okay. We also have an additional review. Let me go ahead and show you this one right here, the screen. Okay, if you go to the text practice in here, I'm giving you quite a bit of the test 2 practice in here. Okay, so I'm giving you a lot of more review in this one right here for your chapter, for your test. Okay, this will be much more. That's chapter 3 and 9. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the test 1 review with the video. Okay, so this will giving you even more detailed review in here. Okay, so I want to go ahead and pick a few questions just kind of to supplement what we have earlier in here. Okay. All right, so let's look at one of this percentage again, this bell curve, right? So some people was talking, asking how do you get a 60%, 68, 70, 95% in here. So look at the 21. The score of the contemporary test is 70, with a standard deviation is 6. Use the empirical rule to find a percentage of the score between 64 and 76. Assume the data set has a bell curve distribution. So how do you do this one right here? Look at it. 21, 22, these are all the same. Okay, and then we're going to talk about how do you calculate the GPA in here on 23. Okay, so for 21, how do you calculate? How many percent will that be? Okay, I just give you a minute trying to see anyone out an answer for that. All right, so let me go ahead and draw a little bit bell curve, right? We have a 21 right here, and then we're gonna draw a little bit bell curve. My mean here is 70. The mean here is 70. Standard deviation here is 6. And then we're gonna find 64 to 76. So where is 64? Well, 64, if you use 70 minus 6, that is 64, right? So that is 1 standard deviation away. So that's minus 1 standard deviation. And then if you look at the 76, so I have a 70 plus 6 will be 76. So that is plus 1 standard deviation away, plus 1x. So I have an x bar plus minus 1x. That will giving you what? How many percent? 68%. So the answer should be D, right? 68% in here. Okay, let's see how many of you got it right. Okay, all right, so yeah, 68% is the correct answer. Okay. Okay, if you look at the 22, let's do one more in here. So very similar. You have a SAT verbal score is 462, standard deviation is 98. Use the empirical rule to determine percentage of the score between 462 to 560. Okay, so how many percent will that be? All right, so number 22 in here, and then we can drop a little bit bell curve. Okay, my mean here is 462. Standard deviation here is 98, right? And then we're gonna have a 462, which is start from the middle to 560. And if I use 560 minus 462, that will give you what? 98. Okay, so that will give you 98. and that is plus 1 standard deviation. Okay, so how many percent will be between 462 to 560? Oh, that is only x bar plus 1 standard deviation. I do not have a minus 1 standard deviation. I don't have anything to the left, right? If I have a plus and minus 1 standard deviation, this will give you 68%. This will give you 68%. So I don't have a left-hand side. I only have a right-hand side. So half of the 68%. So which is 34% in here. Okay, so that is how you use the empirical rule in this kind of situation. Okay, any questions? Oh, hold on. I always try to. Any questions about this one? All right. A little bit called a weighted point or weighted mean, which is like a 23. Okay. Grade points are assigned as the following. So this is kind of like our college GPA. If you got A, you got 4 points. Got B, you got 3 points. C, you got 2 points. D, you got 1 point. If you got F, that's 0, right? The grades are weighted according to the credit hours. So if a student receive an A in a 4 credit class, D in a 2 credit class, B in a 3 credit class, and C in a 3 credit class, what is the student GPA or grade point average? What is the student's GPA? Okay, so how do we do this type of question? We have a list is called weighted mean, right? The sum of x times the weight divided by the sum of the weight in here. So we can look at this one right here. Student receive an A in a 4 credit class. So 4 credit, you got A is 4 points, right? And then D in a 2 credit class, D, 2 credit, D is 1 point. Okay, and then B in the 3 credit hours. So I using the 3 credit hour times the B. B is 3 points. And then we have a C in another 3 credit hours. So that's a C. C, you got 2 points. So that's the total points you have. And divided by the sum of the weight, which is the sum of the credit hours. So the sum of the credit hour is 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3, right? And then we're gonna go ahead and give you a quick calculation. The denominator will be what? 6 to 10 will be 12 credit hours. This is student take. And then the total point here is 16 plus 2 plus 9 plus 6, right? If you multiply that together. So that's 18, 27, 33 over 12. Okay, and then you can use the calculator to go ahead and give you a quick calculation. 33 over 12, so that will give you 2.75. Okay, so that will be the called weighted GPA. Okay, that is the weighted GPA in here. Any questions? One thing is this is a statistics class, right? You will need to learn how to calculate your own grade in order to pass this class. Okay, that is for sure, right? Because sometimes at the end of the course, students still ask me, what is my grade average right now? I said, you can go ahead and calculate on your own, okay? And this is how you calculate the GPA, right? It's very similar to how do you calculate the end of the course grade. Because look at this one right here. How do you calculate your own course grade? We have a syllable right here. Look at it. Homework is 20%. Chapter review is 60%. Each test is 16%, right? So how do you calculate your own course grade? Well, you're gonna if you make a homework is 100%, you use the number, multiply this one right here, right? And then divided by the total will be 1. So that is how you calculate your own test grade according to this one right here. You should be able to calculate your own grade in here, right? Okay, all right. So now you should be able to use this one and then calculate your own test grade that way. Okay. Any questions? All right, I want to go ahead and talk about this one right here because this is called weighted bin. Okay, then maybe some of your homework will similar to this one, which is a lot of people kind of don't like the weighted bin, right? So how do you find a sample bin in this case? This sample bin actually is called a weighted bin, right? So the manager of the bank record the amount of the time a random sample of customers spent waiting in their line during the peak business hour on Monday. This is a frequency distribution summarized below. You want to find you have a 12 customer waited between 0 to 3 minutes, right? And then 13 of them waited between 8 to 11 minutes. One of them waited between 24 to 27 minutes. So how do you calculate this type of question? Okay, so step one, you will need to find a what? Bin point. For this type of question, you will need to find a bin point first. Okay, so you will need to find a bin point for each classes in here. All right, so let's see, number 24. Find a bin point for each one. Okay, so I will go ahead and using the bin point. So we have a class, this is 12, right? And then we have a 14, 13, 6, 8, 2, and 1. Okay, so you're gonna need to find a bin point. How do you find a bin point? Using the upper class plus the lower class divided by 2. So 0 plus 3 divided by 2, that is 1.5, right? And once I find out the first class bin point, how much is the class width in here? What is the class width for this one? Anyone? How much is the class width? Okay, you can type it in the chat. In here, I want to check what is the class width for this table. Okay, 4 is the correct answer. That's exactly right. So if I know the class width, remember the bin points difference is also equal to the class width. So once I calculate the first bin point, I will just adding by 4. So this 1.5 plus 4. So this will be 5.5. This will be 9.5, 13.5, 17.5, 21.5, and 25.5. Look at it. It's much easier to just add a 4 than adding this. Then you have to calculate 4 plus 7 divided by 2, right? If you go to calculate this one, of course, you got a 5.5. But since I know the bin point difference is also equal to the class width. So I just add a 4 for each one of them, and that's it. Okay. And after you find the bin point, the bin here we're using x times f divided by the sum of f. So you will need to go to you will need to using the bin point x times f. This is x bin point x of m. And then this is f, right? So you will need to multiply these two together, whatever that is. Okay, you will need to multiply these together and then add them together. After you multiply, add them together, and then divide by the sum of the frequency. So that is how you calculate the class width. This is called a weight, I'm sorry, not a class width. Calculate, this is called a weighted mean. Okay. The good news is I can put this whole thing into the calculator if you don't want to calculate this one right here. Okay. So I can put this whole thing into calculator and I can find a weighted mean from the calculator. That is the good news. All right. So I am going to input this into L1 and L2. Okay. Go to state edit. Go to the very top, hit clear, enter, everything will be gone. So I will need to input a mean point, 1.5, 5.5. So look at that. If I input one wrong, I can come back to fix it very quick, right? 13.5. Okay, and then I come back here to input my L2. My force frequency here is 12, 14, 13, 6, 8, 2, and 1. Make sure you L1 and L2 are matched. Okay. If you input this one into L1, L2, and then we're gonna come to find the Q using one state, one variable state, and then we're gonna input L1. Second one is L1 common. Second two will be L2, and then we hit enter. And if we hit enter here, this will be the bin, the weighted bin in here, 9.07. Okay, and then if you run to one decimal point, it will be 9.1. All right, so this will be really quick and easy if you don't want to multiply one by one together and then go to add all this sum together. But you do need to find a bin point first. Okay, you do need to find a bin point first, and then go ahead and input. Okay, I'll show you one more, repeat one more time. Okay, you will input bin point into L1, input frequency into L2. Okay, once you input that, you go to stat cal using one variable state right here, and then just type a second one is L1 common, second two is L2, right? And that will giving you the weighting bin in here. Okay, basically you can find the GPA, the weighted, the GPA grade point average this way as well. All right. Any questions? So now is finding the weighted bin for this one. This is probably the most challenging question for this chapter, is find the bin for this table. Okay, so step one, you find the bin point, and then after you find the bin point, if you want, you can just dump it into the calculator, and it will do everything for you. All right. Find a sample standard deviation. This one very similar to the one we have earlier. I can do it by hand, or I can just put it in a calculator. Okay. If I go to very top, hit clear, enter, everything will be gone. All right. And then we have a 15, 42, 53. Okay, you have a 9 data right here. So, and then you go to stat again, go to cal, right? Just using this one right here. If you only have a one L1, you don't have to input everything. You don't have to type a L1 because default is L1. So the sample standard deviation here is XX. XX is the sample standard deviation. So if you run to one decimal point, that will be 17.8. So 17.8. Okay, so we do have a 17.8 in here. All right, any questions?
On the previous question, not 24, I guess, when you did when you entered L1 and L2, did you do something differently other than just going to the first var stats or whatever?
Oh, okay, yeah, I did something differently because if you don't do anything, if you just go to stat cal, if you don't type anything, you only using L1. It didn't using the L2. Okay, this one is only L1. All right. So in order for this one, in order to take the frequency into calculation, you will need to type the, okay, let me go ahead and you go to stat cal using one variable state right here. You will need to type a L1 comment second 2, which is L2. You will need to type this one. So that's the difference for 24, because we want to have a weighted mean. We want to, this, if you don't have a L2, the default frequency will be just all 1. But in here, our frequency is not all 1, so we have to type it in the frequency here. Okay, question? Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. So if you don't type anything, you're only using the L1, you didn't use L2. So in order to use L1 and L2, you have to type the L1, comment L2. All right, okay, let's see what else do we have. Empirical rule, which we already covered. We covered the empirical rule. This is a very similar one, okay? Calculate the G-score, we already have. Okay, find the mean quartile. Okay, so what is the mean quartile? All right, this is another one right here called a mean quartile. The mean quartile is using Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2. That's called a mean quartile. It's not an interquartile, but a mean quartile. So how do you find a L1, a Q1 and Q2 in here? This is 10 age, 10 grooms on their forced marriage age is listed in here. All right, so you will need to find the Q1 and the Q3, right? And if you don't want to find this one by hand, I can show you this quick and easy way in here. Okay, we're gonna go to edit, clear everything. So we have a 35.1. Okay, so we have a 10 data in here, right? And if I don't want to find a Q1, first quartile, second quartile, the other quartile by hand, I can just go ahead and using this same template, I can score it down. Look at it, I have a minimum is 21, right? I have a maximum here is 46.6. And then this is a Q1, Q2, and Q3, okay? So I already have a Q1, Q2, and Q3 right here. And if I want to find an interquartile, find a mean quartile, I will just using Q1 plus Q3 divided by 2. So I already have a Q1 right here. I already have a Q3 right here. So, and then I just copy these two numbers, add up together, divided by 2, that will find the mean quartile. Okay, so finding the Q1 and Q3 will be a little bit more work than just find the mean quartile. Okay, any questions?
You said mid quartile was Q1 plus Q2 divided by what?
Divided by 2. Okay, there's another question here is a teacher give a 20 points quiz to 10 students, the score listed below. What is the percentile corresponding to the score of 12? So what is the percentile? So percentiles, that means how many percent below you. So in order to do this one right here, you will need to line up, you will need to put the data in the ascending order first, okay? And if you don't like to do this one by hand, let me show you, if you don't want to type this one, short this one by hand, you can short this one in the Excel really quick. Okay, we have a 28, 10, 7, 15, 16, 12, 19, 14, and 9, right? And we're gonna call this is L, or call this is X, whatever you want to call it. All right, so you can go ahead and go here and then go to data, right? And then short, okay? Short from small to the largest one, okay? So now I have this one is already short, okay? So I have a 7, 8. All right, so now I have a 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20. So this is sorted, right? And then you want to see what's the percentage corresponding to the score 12. Okay, so my score 12 is right here. This is my score 12. So we want to see how many data do we have totally? We have 10 data. And how many below like 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 4 below 12, okay? And how many total in here? We have 10 students, so that is 40%. You're using 4 divided by 40. I'm sorry, using 4 divided by 10. 4 divided by 10. So it's 0.4, so that's 40%. Okay, that is how you do this type of question. Okay, 36 here, this is finding G-score, should be pretty easy. The last one right here is for the math SAT, this person take the SAT and ACT score, right? And the SAT, the mean is 514, with the standard deviation is 113. For the math part of the ACT, the mean is 20.6, standard deviation is 5.1. Bob scores 660 on SAT and 27 on ACT. We want to see which test Bob did better. Of course, we're gonna need to convert it into G-score in order to be able to compare, right? Because it's different test. Okay, a lot of high school students, they all take both SAT and ACT. My niece, she also did both of them in there, and found out she did the SAT was better than ACT. Okay, so how do you know which one you do better? Well, you're gonna have to compare the mean, right, and then convert it into standard score in order to know that. Okay, so how do you do this type of question? We're gonna go ahead and find both G-score. Okay, so let's go ahead and find a Bob SAT. Okay, so the G-score for the SAT will be X bar minus mu over sigma, or just using X. Okay, the SAT, he scored 660 minus the mean here is 514, right? Divided by the standard deviation is 113. And then we can go ahead and give you a little bit quick calculation in here. Okay, we have a 660 minus 514 divided by 113. That will give you 1.29. Okay, I'm giving you 1 to 2 decimal point is 1.29. And then his ACT, okay, G-score will be, the ACT score is 27. The mean here is 20.6, right? Divided by the standard deviation is 5.1. Okay, so I can go ahead and calculate this one right here. 27 minus 20.6, okay, divided by 5.1. That will giving you 1.24 because the next digit is 4, so you round it down, so it's 1.25. All right, so which one did Bob do better? Since they both are positive numbers, so whatever the higher score is better. Okay, so he did a SAT better than ACT because this G score is 1.29, ACT score is 1.25, so the G score higher is better. So he did a SAT better in here. All right. Any other questions? So that is pretty much the chapter 2 review in here. I'm not going to giving you the chapter 3. I do have a recording video for chapter 3, 3.1, 3.2. I will send that video to you. But I wanted to go ahead and focus on chapter 1 and 2 first. I would actually prefer you to do the test before you open chapter 3. That way it will maximize your test score, okay? And then you won't like miss the day 9 for the test, okay? Because once you pass the day 9, you cannot do the test again. Any questions?
How many questions are on the test?
It's around like 20 questions, something like that.
Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question. Are the chapter, I'm sorry, are the quizzes the chapter reviews for a 16% grade?
Yes, that is for all the chapter review. So each chapter review, I think is, let's see. So the chapter review here is 16%, right? So each chapter review probably 2 or 3%, something like that. But one test is 16%. This chapter review, which is the whole chapter review, include chapter 1, 2, 3, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each chapter review is 2%.
Okay. I guess what my question is the chapter reviews the quizzes on my math lab, or is it, because I know there's like on Blackboard like a test practice. I'm not
Okay.
sure which one is.
Blackboard is only for your own practice. It doesn't count as a score. Okay, so all the grade are on my lab, on the Pearson my lab, on my math lab. So look at this one right here. If you go to the Pearson Mind Lab here, you have a this chapter review. Look at that. This is a chapter review quiz. That is each chapter review quiz is 2%. And then you have a chapter review, and then you have a test.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. This kind of practice here, I actually already given you the answer on the Blackboard. Okay, all the Blackboard, this one right here, you have a text practice in here. I already given you the answer, so I don't expect you to give the grade from here. This is just for your own review. So in order for you to do well on the assignment. So all this chapter practice here, this already giving you the answers. Okay, and then this one right here is just for your own practice. This is also have an answer in there. So the Blackboard is for your resource. Okay, you have a class note right here. You have a PowerPoint. You have a formula sheet. You have a review practice. So these are all for your own resource in order for you to do well. These don't count as a score. All right. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Yes, it's me. I cannot log in my person lab or something. They ask me always a code, access code. I don't know.
I said that earlier, everyone needs to buy their own access code.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm gonna buy it.
Everyone needs to buy their own access code. Okay.
Okay.
Just buy the cheaper one, which is the 16 weeks one. I think, or 18 weeks. You don't have to buy the whole year.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna do that because I see like you talk about password or something like that, and
Those are all on the Pearson Mind Lab. Yeah,
okay.
and everyone needs to buy the access code
Okay.
for this class, actually for a lot of other class. So that because we use Pearson, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, if not, I will let you go for tonight, and you can always send me the email if you have any question. I will be able to answer that on your question, okay? But make sure you do that on time because we only have 7 weeks, and this course is gonna be ended very quick. So, but a lot of people, complete this before. A lot of people did very well before. So, if they can do that, you can do that as well, okay? You just need to stay focused, all right? Okay, any